Hello, I'm David Smokler, one of the collaborators with two First Nations communities in Ontario that investigated community-wide testing for Hep C using dried blood spot cards. Hep C is one of the deadliest infectious diseases in Canada, and it is endemic in several Indigenous communities. A major challenge to Hep C cure is getting people tested, so we investigated whether a dried blood spot card in the hands of community members who were trained in the technique for sample gathering could be used for community-wide testing. The result was that in one community, 226 of 900 people were tested within 1 week. In Community 2, a more remote community, over the period of 2019, almost 500 people were tested in a community of about 1,100 people. The conclusion is that dried blood spot cards are a viable sample gathering technique in remote communities, and that food and Facebook announcements were important features in attracting participants, that local control of planning is essential, and that community-led health initiatives such as this can be highly successful. In the first community, Lac Seul, Chief and Council appointed the health director, Leroy Quocott, to be in charge of organizing the community testing. He and his staff, along with a member of the Toronto Centre for Liver Disease, developed an approach that included distributing flyers to all the people in the community. The flyers had an endorsement from Chief and Council. It said that everyone would get a prize, and it also said that there would be some food available. The local principal then distributed all of these flyers using her students to every house in the community. In Kitchener-May-Costa-Beninawag, Chief and Council appointed Nurse Anne Beck to be in charge of the testing drive, who recruited local nurse in training Cheyenne Albany to help design culturally appropriate approaches. Starting with door-to-door ads was deemed highly inappropriate, and instead contests were held for students to produce posters, which were then put up around the community. The two organized feasts to draw people into the events, and a survey was done of people's attitudes towards hepatitis C before the events began. Finally, after the community hall feasts, when people were more familiar with the events, a testing van was used to go out into the community itself to offer testing at people's homes. And a year after the events had been completed, another survey was conducted. In conclusion, in both Lac Seul and Kitchener-May-Costa-Beninawag, people showed a willingness to participate in these events, with over 200 people participating in Lac Seul in less than a week, and in KI, almost 500 participating within the year, with each week of testing showing about 150 people participating. In Lac Seul, that meant a third of the adult population participated in getting tested, and most of those also got tested for HIV. And in KI, it was 50% of the population, with about 95% also testing for HIV. The response from people who participated in Lac Seul, from the staff, was they felt it was a team-building experience, they were really well trained, and there was a lot of opportunity for them to give feedback. In KI, where people were given a questionnaire during the testing drive, almost all of them, 95%, agreed on the need for testing. And in the community readiness evaluation, the entire concern for hepatitis C went from a level 3 to level 4, and this is evaluated in the midst of COVID. I'd like to conclude with a quote from a rejection from the CIHR, from one of the reviewers who said, "I am not sure that the method will have a high chance of success." This is in stark contrast to the health director for Lac Seul, who said, "We need education and awareness," and the health director of KI, who said, "It doesn't matter what it takes, let's just get this fixed." And the point is that officials outside of these communities make decisions that people are not ready to engage with this problem. But the key is to provide tools, let the community decide for themselves, and allow them to design their own approach. Thank you.